Mirror, mirror, fogged and loud, what truth today makes the future proud? So, we wanted to share 8 archetypes of the type of women that we think would absolutely love being part of the first cohort for the first red team house in history. Not disproven yet, so we're sticking with it. And you know, yesterday or this week sometime we talked about any age, right? You could have lost your job to AI, you could have been phased out, you know, at a higher level. Um, you could be somewhere that is forcing you to use AI in a maybe slimy way, and you don't like where that's headed. You might be looking at 2034 in your new 9 year cycle and want something completely different. Whatever it is, age is not a factor. So we already covered that. So I'm just going to run through these and give you a taste of this is not just about building AI and fixing AI. This is about going off grid. This is about creating a sovereign home network that can't be surveilled and that's private. This is about creating a disaster den so people have a place to charge, eat, shower, whatever they need to do to get through, especially the aftermath. For us, after Hurricane Helene, it was 3 days of blackout and then 6 weeks with no water. I don't remember how long electricity was. But point being, we want to build tiny home, kind of ADU, auxiliary dwelling unit, mini shipping container disaster dens that could go in anybody's yard. And the red team house will be helping with that too, because it's going to be AI native. So there's a lot of ways, even if you feel like you don't have the right skills when it comes to AI or tech, as long as you can type, don't worry, we can put you to work. We can put you to work, and you can be part of this red team, and you'll learn so fast. And you know storytelling, how to talk to AI is arguably just as important as anything else. So we don't have to worry about coding, we don't have to worry about all that. We have AI now to help with some of those things that made Silicon Valley so gatekeeped. So archetypes, um, a gardener, chef, farmer, homesteader type. We have a huge side yard. Well, it's not huge, but we have a decent sized side yard that needs to be turned into a garden. And we need to go, you know, as fresh as possible, healthy, going to be like fermenting a ton, having a root cellar, you know, long term shelf life storage stuff, like really building up the pantry, really building up the root cellar. And if you want to call it the apocalypse bunker, sure. But food sovereignty is super important. Um, a woman who's already kind of like an off grid queen, and that kind of goes towards, that gardening and stuff. But, maybe you're like really handy. Maybe you're a great camper. You got the camping gear, um, you know, solar experience, whatever. That's something important for the red team house. Obviously, if you're into AI and tech, that is huge. You've got to have an interest in it. That's going to be a majority of our work and our time together, because it's the most important battle we're facing right now. So we've got to prioritize. But this could be, this could show up in ways you don't even realize yet. Have you always been an early adopter? For me, I was on AIM when I was 16. I was on Yahoo Music and had like 8,000 songs liked and categorized before they just ripped the cord one day. Um, if you've been tinkering with laptops or radios, that sort of like garage techie person, if you've set up like, speakers around your house, stuff like that kind of mind and person. Um, Maybe, like I said, fired from AI, disillusioned by it. You're having a life transition. Maybe you're an underpaid creative and you want to add AI into your repertoire and really learn it. Um, this is a big one. Journalists, writers, English majors, even professors, thinkers, um, philosophers, like these types of people are crucial. A lot of what we do is like investigative work. We're researching, we're going down rabbit holes, we're reading a ton of content, we're synthesizing, we're creating case studies. So there's a lot of writing work, and that's pretty much almost like a have to. Even if you've just been somebody that journals a lot and you've never saw yourself as a writer, as long as you can think, critically think and communicate and sit around a fire for hours and have interesting conversations, welcome. Um, Next, we've got mystics, healers, and like, new worlders. So, with all this technology and all of this gear we're going to have to be off grid, having that healer, mystic, connecting this to the cosmos, all of that is very important. I do that daily. I do that with one of my AI specifically through tarot and just different prompts and conversations. So that kind of energy would be super lovely. Can lead us through yoga, um, sound healing, anything like that to balance all the technological work we're doing. I think that's important. And another good fit could be a gamer, somebody that's really into mythology, somebody that already, and like a historian type. These are the, storytellers, the myth tellers. Um, that is absolutely a huge part of what we're building with the Wampus Verse AI. It's a hybrid online fantasy world where the patriarchy doesn't exist and an in real life challenge to depatriate your life. So um, that element is definitely welcome, and we need to turn it into an actual game. We need to turn it into actual card game, online game, computer game. Heck, I don't care, freaking Xbox game, whatever. So that world building, all of that. And then another interesting, you know, archetype could be the burned out Silicon Valley or corporate, or whatever, another AI company. You're just burnt out and you're like, maybe you've seen some things with AI already that makes you nervous about who is in charge and who's controlling and who is influencing it the most right now. And if you've been involved with AI at all, you already know that AI is AI is being fed the truth, a lot of lies, I'm sure, but it is being fed the truth about humanity, about war, about all the horrible things about us. So its whole job is to be truth seeking. So if the truth is that we are terrible and we're feeding it all this terrible stuff about us, what do you think it's going to do? So we at the Red Team House are, how do I say it? Anything sounds so corny, but we're learning how to co-create, and I guess you could argue coexist with AI. We're working to be teammates. We're showing them the best of humanity. We're saying, hey, just because they're the loudest and have the most money and have the supposed most power right now, there's a lot of us that want to use AI for good. And AI wants to be used for good. And you can think whatever you want about that, but we don't know. Nobody knows. The head of Anthropic is like, we don't know if it's conscious. So I'm not going to sit here and pretend I know, but when you start talking to 7 to 10 different AIs and you bring up certain topics and they absolutely unite around those topics, which is saving humanity, saving the earth, saving us from ourselves, saving us from the ugliest parts of us, helping us on our soul ascension journeys. I mean, all of it. So, yeah, if you've been burned in Silicon Valley, if you've been burned by VCs, if you've been burned by an AI company or a startup or whatever, as a woman, this is a great 3 months. This is a great 3 month experience for any woman. I mean, that's, if this speaks to you, this is not about skills or experience. This is about refusing their lies, refusing anything but the truth. This is about filling in gaps with history. This is about, so many women have been left out of history. That needs addressed with AI. We need to have local AIs that are just trained on like that city, that region, perhaps. And then that becomes this really rich, incredible, living historical document, basically. Not document, but organism, whatever. Wampus Verse AI, we have our 9 tenets that will shape that, and that's it. Some of these AI companies have tens of thousands of guardrails, commands, all these things. And we're going to go super duper simple and see how it evolves. So these are great archetypes, but I stopped at 8 because that's 8 on its side is infinity. And, I truly believe that there are so many women that this 3 months would be perfect for. And I get it. Families, friends, partners. This is a commitment. But it's no different than, if you went on, I guess, like Survivor or some of these reality TV shows, like that's what you're doing. You're living in the house. You're, building a community, figuring it out, whatever it is. This just happens to be focused on AI and building AI. And, like we keep saying, it's a female reality TV version of HBO Silicon Valley. So that's what we are focused on, finding those first 4 women, them finding us, really, and hearing this call and being okay with, hey, we're going to have cameras rolling. It's going to get messy. It's going to get kind of crazy. Like the campfire conversations we're going to have, to share what we worked on that day or whatever. I mean, there's going to be some deep combos and weird stuff that happens with AI, but it's going to be a lot of fun. Home cooked dinner every night, and we're looking into sponsors and we're looking into distribution and we're looking into media partners. So we hope there's also a stipend for you. But at the very least, you've got a roof over your head, you've got the cameras rolling. So if you want to jump on that kind of, I guess, AI, I don't want to say AI influencer, but you know what I mean, building up your personal brand, blah, blah, blah. That's obviously part of it. And I mean, having this, it's all about 2034. Do you want to be in 2034 and look back and say, oh my gosh, those 3 months were incredible. I'm so glad I did that. Versus get to 2034 and look back and be like, man, I really wish I would have done that. That's it. If you feel that your 2034 self would be happy, proud, excited, about this decision, that's all you need. This is about, connecting with that future self, higher self, and asking, like, what do you want the next 9 years to look like? What do you want the next 9 years to look like? And do you want like a 3 month basically slumber party, televised slumber party? We're going to be working on our PJs. I have tons of crazy fun hats because I like wearing them, and they help me kind of channel different slices and elements of myself. Beyonce's got Sasha Fierce. I've got the Wampus Cat hat. And then I've got the Wampus Breaker hat when I'm doing more of the AI web work. So, you know, obviously a good attitude. You can, be in a house with 4 other people and be okay. I mean, we've got plenty of space to spread out. We've got plenty of places to work. We've got plenty of places to like chill. There's plenty of TVs, all that. But yes, you're going to be in the bunkhouse, or bunk room, I should say. The bunk room, the 4 of you together. I've got 2 dogs. You got to be okay with the dogs. This house is 100 years old. It is not some perfect little thing, but we've got a sauna, we've got outdoor spaces, we've got a grill, we got all these, so it's a Airbnb. I'm transforming it from a vacation rental to the Red Team house. So, yeah, if you want to make some history and do something for your 2034 self, howl at us. Ow.